And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize. I apologize for the extended delays here, but unfortunately, we were just waiting for a little bit there, and Demi could not get his internet back up and running. PC issues as well. There were just a lot going on, and in the end, Demi did end up forfeiting against his opponent. 7 Warrior will advance on to face off against Go-Go Joey, but before that, or as they are facing off, we found ourselves in a very different series. Oh my, we found ourselves in a ZvT. And spawning, as I try to set this up, one moment here. Let's try to set this up, and there we go, spawning as, hold on, I need a lighter shade. Does this work? Better. In the top left hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom right, we have as opponent, we have the Pink Zerg from the land of Hong Kong, representing Team Gosu. It is Koht. So, again, it is a bit of a shame that we did have to abandon the previous series, that we only got one game out of it, and it's always a shame whenever there's, issues outside of your control, whether they're PC related or internet related. So, unfortunately, Demi will have to forfeit. And I wish the best of luck to 7 Warrior as he does face off against Go-Go Joey in the next round, as we have already found ourselves in our own series here. Again, Koht did take down you, the Australian Protoss player, to make it this far, and I'm quite excited here. Again, I mentioned before, I believe this is the debut of Koht in this tournament, and for them to face off here in this ZvT, I'm ready for it. I'm always excited for HonMonO duking it out here as in Terran versus Zerg, just because he has a little bit more variety to him. I mean, I appreciate what HonMonO does against Protoss, but it's usually 2 base all-ins, just different variations of 2 base all-ins against Protoss. And against Zerg, HonMonO, he is not afraid to macro it up. To make it happen at times, yes, but to play a very bio-heavy composition as well. Those wondering, HonMonO, of course, he is a GPO champion. He is coming in as one of the higher seeds in this tournament, and he's the one to beat. Can anyone bring him down? I would have said Demi, I would have said Go-Go Joey, but Koht is making his debut here. He's looking to walk that royal road. HonMonO is going to be quite a challenge before him, and we'll see if Koht can make some magic happen here. Again, going for a hatch gas pull into a third base standard opener out of our Zerg player so far. Nothing too out of the norm. We have link speed on the way, pulled out of gas, and I've casted Koht in the past, but very rarely, really. I think last time I casted Koht was during the Dave Tester tournament, the funky map over. Meanwhile, here we go, we just dive on top of the Overlord. Overlord taking a lot of hits. Up! Oh my god, the Overlord will go down. HonMonO being cheeky, these 2 Marines. The Hero Marines even, they just waddle across map. It was Marine first, not Reaper, by the way. We do catch an Overlord. Big pickoff here for HonMonO. Behind this, we have a 3rd CC before Starport. Very economic. I said before that HonMonO, he's willing to make it happen, and we may even see that here and now because we have Cyclones on the way. No additional Raxes, not yet, as we are looking to chase down another Overlord. Again, that floating Rax should be a bit of a tell here, as Overlord is going to go down. Additional Cyclones are in production as well. Link speed has kicked in, and HonMonO is looking to push out. Here we go. Back at home, so far everything's looking as it should. We have additional queens on the way, links as well. We're getting set up on our 3 bases, but we have lost map control, and I'm really curious. Oh my god, this is the 3rd CC before Starport into a 4th CC. This is too greedy. This is illegal. This is out of this world. Off of 4 Cyclones, we're going up to a 4th CC. Back at home, Koht going into a very fast lair, actually. Interesting. This is around a 4-minute lair timing, far earlier than normal. I wonder what the plan is. I wonder if we're going to be taking up heavily into a certain direction, whether we go into Hydras or Spire and Mutas. I'm really curious. Lings, they get across now. They see the CC on the low ground. They see an eBay on the way, but we haven't seen the main. It's possible that Koht may think this is the 3rd when really it's the 4th. HonMonO just wilding out here. Fourth hatchery going to be on the way for Koht. On time. Third base is getting saturated as we speak. Liz about to finish. We haven't taken additional gases. We don't have additional queens. We only have 6 queens here in total, so this is not for a Nidus all-in. 2 more gases are on the way. Are we rushing into a Hydra 10? Yep, there it is. Ling Hydra. So I assumed it would be Hydras because we haven't seen any Baleen nests. Now we get the Eva chambers on the way. 3 gases were taken. 3 gases are typically for Hydra production. 4th gas now in production as well. But before we can get into Ling Hydra, here come the Cyclones, and Koht does not have much on the ground. He's got 14 Lings. The Lings are going to be moving out on the right-hand side, which means this 4th base is exposed. And the base is going to be cancelled. Should be. The Lings, they do come in for a surround. They get 1. They get 1 Cyclone, but there's a cancel on the 4th base. HonMonO going to be rotating around, denying a lot of creep here outside that 3rd. And we're going to be denying the 4th once again as we rotate over towards it, and thankfully it wasn't a kill. That's the 2nd factory on the way. It is going to be mech. We have confirmation. In case there were any doubters. Mech is on the way so far. My god, these Cyclones, they've been going ham on these Lings. We just haven't had enough to deal with this. We have Hydras in production, 1-1 on the way. Meanwhile, behind this, HonMonO, he's fully saturated on 3 bases. That's the 4th, and that's the 5th, and that's a... This is a 6th CC! This is a 6th base on the way. We don't... Oh my god. HonMonO, he is being so insanely greedy right now. And he has no reason, there's no, I was gonna say no reason for it, but like, again, there's just nothing at home to defend. If these Cyclones got surrounded, if Koht cleans up that army, there is nothing to protect these bases. They are planetaries, bear that in mind. Planetary here is the 3rd, planetary soon to be at the 4th. Lings are coming in. Koht now realizes how far behind he is in the economy. We dive on the mineral line. We're going straight for the Cyclones as well. We should be able to get at least 1. Maybe we can get both. But we're going to get none here as we kite back to the planetary. Speaking of, another planetary is on the way as well. Oh my god. I'm not opposed to Ling Hydra. I do actually like Ling Hydra against a Cyclone heavy composition, but we're still working on the upgrades. Infestation Lurker Den on the way. Koht is fully aware of the mech as he did see additional Cyclones. Scan into the main, doesn't see much. Lair was at the natural. Tech is at the natural. And HonMonO, he's looking to cancel the 4th base for a 3rd time. Oof. Without Hydra speed, we're having a hard time keeping up. We just can't fight against the Cyclones. It's not happening. Not for another couple of seconds. So we do focus on a couple of those Cyclones in the end. The Hydra speed has now kicked in. Here we go. Now we can bully this back. 2 more Cyclones. Big losses here for HonMonO. He's bleeding out too much. Looks like he recognizes that. He backs off. This 4th base is going to get up and running. And back at home. Okay, hold on. So, let's do so. Okay, we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases. 7th, 8th, 9th CC. That's a 10th. That's an 11th CC. That's counting here on the Cranky Ducklings. HonMonO barely has an army, and he's investing so much into these command centers and orbitals, and he should be punished for it. Koht is up in supplies, collapsing on these Cyclones, coming in from behind as well. And this is HonMonO's army. He has 1 tank back at home, a couple of reinforcing Cyclones as well. Once Koht gets out his Vipers, HonMonO is going to lose map control. He's going to be stuck at home. Now, to be fair, Hive is still in production. Vipers are still not out. Without Vipers, I do think that HonMonO can probably sustain this army and eventually max out. Like, he's far behind in the supplies, obviously, but his economy is, you know, slowly getting up there, right? We have more planetaries being thrown down. Cyclones are being active. If given enough time, HonMonO will get away with this. Is what I'm trying to get at. Oh my god. As the Lunkers have arrived. A couple of spine shots going to be going off as well. Hive is done. Still no lurker upgrades. Still no vipers either, which is a little bit concerning. We do need them sooner rather than later. I mean, I say that. We're actually not making too... So the reason why I was harping so much on vipers is because I thought we were going into tanks, because there's one tank. Now we have a second tank on the way. But we're still focusing on cyclones. We have 8 cyclones being made at a time. HonMonO is up to 83 workers. Koht up to 91. Jesus. The Lunkas are going to be boring. Lurker range on the way. There it is. The Vipers are now on the way as well. With Vipers, we can yoink. We can abduct these Cyclones. We can look to punish and shut them down. HonMonO is going to be rotating over towards the right-hand side. I'm afraid to look to see how many more CCs we have, as lurkers are coming in to harass. And with lurker range, they can get a lot done. And HonMonO has to race back home. He's been doing a decent job at maintaining control of the map, but, I mean, I say that. Koht is on 5 aces. He has a good economy. Koht has maxed out with Hydra, Lurker, Viper. Speaking of, these lurkers are going down. Throwing a lot away, actually. But as HonMonO is being dragged out of position, we do see Koht pushing from the left-hand side. How many lurkers do we have? Not too many. Not too many lunkers with this army. We have to back off. Rotate around looking for a better angle of attack. We go. We do see the mass oh my god, the mass cyclones, but we're pushing in. A couple of yoinks here on these cyclones. Not bad trades here for Koht, especially with the lurkers. Like you can see here, these cyclones pushing into lurkers, they have a hard time. They have a really hard time breaking through. Oh, the Vipers have gone down. A bit of an overextension here from Koht. His lurkers are being left behind. Ideal here for HonMonO to be able to fight this Hydra army here outside of range of those lurkers. Speaking of lurkers, just going for a big counterattack instead. Cyclones are going to be going down. At the same time, we do have a massive, actually, lurker counterattack here. Laying siege upon that base. But able to catch quite a number of Cyclones here, actually. Some rough losses. That's 58. 58 Cyclones have gone down. Oh my god. Under the Viper. Once again, an overextension with the Viper. It does fall. Lurkers doing what they can, but pushing into a tank line is not helping, and the tank count is slowly getting higher and higher. Earlier we had 1 tank, now we are up to 5. As HonMonO still is struggling to max out just because of how poorly he's been trading, but because of his economy, he can afford some rough trades. As things they come in to try to punish this army, but there are so many cycles that don't care about the Lings. Oh my god, the stutter stepping. The stutter stepping was insane. The lock-ons were crazy. The Lings go down. And we can see Koht is actually working towards Broodlords. Interesting. Okay, I mean, Koht does have a bank to work with, and he's taking, or he's double expanding, getting a 6th and a 7th base. The gold is unfortunately going to be cancelled, but outside of that, does at least get another hatchery up and running. Cyclones do back off. I appreciate that, like, we're still heavily committed to Mass Cyclone. Like, we got a couple of tanks trickled in here and there. HonMonO, so he hasn't scanned, he hasn't seen the transition here. He doesn't know the Broodlords are soon to be on the way. And without knowing, he doesn't know he has to be, or he should be transitioning into Thor. I say that, but with this amount of Cyclones, with 34 Cyclones, can we get on top of the Broodlords? Is that possible? The scan does reveal them. Broodlords have been revealed. We dive on top of the 5th base. Workers are going down the base as well. But here come the Brood. Here come the Broods. Is this going to be enough? How many is that? 10 Broodlords. Oh my god. 10 Broodlords out for Koht. He just lost 20 workers. Wants to try to keep up with this army, but the Broodlords are so slow. Here we go. We force a siege. We're forced to engage. So far, the Broodlords, they stand strong. They take down a tank, a Cyclone. A second tank as well. Good trades. Meanwhile, we haven't gone into Thors. Like, this is maybe an opportunity to transition, but no, we're sticking with Mass Cyclone. No, we get a Viper, and the reality is that these Broodlords are, I mean, they're slow. The Broodlords are so immobile, they can't keep up with the movement here, so Koht, he may take down this planetary, but HonMonO doesn't care. He's just going to be ignoring the Broodlords, going for a big counterattack instead. Pushing towards the 4th base. The army crumbles here. We don't care about the lurkers or the hydras. We take down every single worker here. And HonMonO, he has gone away with his economy. Just all these bases up and running. 77 workers. Bases are going down. Koht is all in. There's no turning back. Not anymore. Oh, as I say that, just take a moment. Up. The lurker. Getting a couple of those Cyclones. HonMonO trying to come in for a surround. He comes in from behind, from the front as well. We collapse on the army. And I didn't think that Cyclones would fare well against Broodlords, and yeah, they don't. I was like, this does not look good here for HonMonO. He loses half of his Cyclones already. Yeah, he just cannot engage. I would have preferred if he committed to the base trade. If he just kept pushing and made Thors back at home, but 0 Thors. Finally, we turn back around to continue with the base trade, but HonMonO, he's lost his advantage. Look at the trade. He lost 65 Cyclones in one fight. No shot. That's crazy. 66. 68. I mean, the fight has been lasting a while here, but that's crazy. HonMonO down to 21 Cyclones. Sub 150 supply. The Broodlords, they just keep on pushing. Of course, it wasn't just the Broodlords, but also the lurkers underneath the supports. Everything anti-ground. Whether it's Thors, whether it's Vikings. We can see here HonMonO just amassing his Cyclones in his main base. But they're trapped. They can't escape. They cannot get out. And I still don't think they can fight this. I still don't think these Cyclones can push on top of these Broodlords. Not with the lurkers underneath them. But the SCVs, they're going ham. Here we go. Koht pushing into the last bastion of hope here for HonMonO. Sure, HonMonO's got some mining. He's got more Cyclones on the way. But HonMonO is supply blocked. I think we go for the elimination. We can't even go for the elimination. There are lurkers back home as well to defend. God, despite being down in this game, despite being in a rough place up against what, over 11 CCs, didn't even matter. Nah, not before the might of the Broodlord, baby. Let's go. So we are breaking on in. The Broodlord is just choking HonMonO out. So across the map, he's going to try and push forward as well. He's going to take down another base. Koht is down to 2 bases. Barely any mining. Cyclones are caught out. So this is important. Koht doesn't have any mining. He is out of money here. What you see is what you get. Can HonMonO fight back here? Can he rebuild? Like HonMonO, he's got two bases, or 2.5. He's got half a base here. He's got center base and top right as well. He has an army of cyclones. Could HonMonO not necessarily create an army to fight this, but could he create an army to actually break the natural base of Koht, kill these lurkers, and then kill every building? They're like, HonMonO, he has a win condition here. Again, he may not be able to deal with the Broodlords, but he doesn't have to, not right now. We're edging closer. HonMonO slowly pushing in. He's making 8 cyclones at a time. And here we go. We see 2 tanks going down. 2 tanks still remain here for HonMonO. Up. Oh my god. Yeah, we take down every single lurker, and now we can go for the elimination. Every building is here. There is one hatchery out towards the bottom left, but outside of that, every building is going to be going down. And Koht, he has to protect this base. He has to come back home. And Koht, has he seen top right? He doesn't know. Doesn't know which bases have been taken. He can assume. As HonMonO, he busts into the main base. He's doing it. He's doing it, Papi, as we push on in. Hatcheries are going down, and a greater spire as well. And Koht is turning back around. He's going to be harassing with a couple of Broodlords. That's a lot of orbitals still up and running as well. HonMonO, he does see the base. Has his own Naga. Koht is getting in position. But it looks like HonMonO's done it. It looks like, I mean, I say that. HonMonO is now going to be on 1 base economy. He's losing every single SCV here, but he has an army. He has a standing army. And I understand that it's difficult to push into lurkers and broodlords, but with how many cyclones? With 44 cyclones? 44 cyclones. That's crazy. 44 cyclones. We can totally push in. We can break this, right? Question mark?
Base is under attack.
HonMonO, he's a deep enjoyer. Technically, we don't have to force the issue. Scan reveals the base. We don't have to force any kind of fight here. And HonMonO, you can just focus on clearing up these Broodlords, rebuilding his economy, and maxing out. This is true. But even if HonMonO didn't do that, I still think he can push into this. I want to believe that 49 cyclones can break this army, but I could be wrong. Here we go. Mass Cyclone army is pushing out, and this is it. Can Koht somehow overcome this army? Do have some lock-ons and up. So far, the Broodlords, they do stand strong. Now we had 49, we're down to 48. Still making 5 Cyclones at a time. Gonna be landing some orbitals, taking some bases. These 2 Broodlords still alive. HonMonO really wants to make this Mass Cyclone work. And I mean, it kind of is. Kind of. Here we go. We are pushing on board. Just trying to get in position, just with what little he has. Broodlord's still denying mining. HonMonO looking for a better angle of attack. Meanwhile, Koht has still just been resaturating his bases. Lair is on the way. If Koht can get a Hydrogen back up and running, we can make some more lurkers, which would be ideal. Tanks are edging closer. It looks like they're trying to get within range of those lurkers. Up! Can we get a Broodlord? So far, we do not. Oh my god, Koht not losing anything. Maybe I wouldn't even be opposed to making like some queens for like some transfuse, but oh, we are overextending a little bit. Koht getting very adventurous, and there it is, finally! 3 starports. It looks like after that trade, which again, Koht didn't lose a single unit. After that trade, HonMonO, he's like, okay, look, the mono battle of Cyclone, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna be easy. I'll make a couple of Vikings. And the reality is that like 1 Viking is all it's gonna take. We do have some Hydras, but like a handful of Vikings here should clean this up. Very limited anti-air. There's very little that can really be done in this situation. 2 Broodlords finally go down. Another CC is being taken. HonMonO now is on a 2-base economy. And Koht's just, yeah, stuck here in the corner of the map. We have a Hydrogen on the way. It's in production. Here come the Vikings. We don't even need that many of them. And this was a wild ride. This was a wild game, Bobby. Wild game. I don't like this. They're coming back home. They're just getting topped up. They're getting repaired. Lunkerton is on the way. You love to see it. To squeeze out as many lurkers as we can. Koht does have a bank. He just doesn't have any larva. So without larva, unfortunately, he has very limited production capabilities. And he doesn't know that. I mean, he has a changeling with the army, but he hasn't seen the Vikings. Doesn't know that Vikings are amassing in the top right-hand corner of the map. Scan reveals the Hydrogen and the Lurker Den as well. Another hatchery on the way. But this is still an uphill battle for Koht. Like, there were moments in this game when Koht was leading and was even winning. Especially when he was pushing into the main base, but alas, the Broodlord army is too slow. We couldn't get to the top right. We couldn't get on top of the new production here of HonMonO. We could not shut this down, and as a result, HonMonO is going to be running away with this. There's just no answer to the Vikings. We have some Hydras, but the Hydras are being morphed into Lurkers. Basically, Koht believes that HonMonO is still just very persistent about making mass Cyclone. So I don't blame him for blindly going into more Lurkers. But the reality is that this is just less anti-air. Less anti-air for Koht. Looking at the units tab, we have 4 Hydras. 4 Hydras is not going to be good enough. And here we go. HonMonO essentially maxed out, coming in with 45 Cyclones, 21 Vikings. We scan, we see a little bit of anti-air. But for the most part, HonMonO, he should be able to collapse on this. He should be able to move without too much issue. And there it is. The lock-ons are real. Lurkers, they go down. Vikings, they zone everything else away. And it looks like HonMonO has finally done it. He's finally broken through. Takes down the base, takes down the Lurkers, and there's just not much of an army left. GG. Well played gets called, and HonMonO will take game number 1. Oh, GG. GG, well played. What was hold on, just trying to GG, well played gets called, and HonMonO will take the first game. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the color here. Just trying to find the correct color. Beautiful. There we go. As that was only game 1. That was merely game 1. We still got plenty more to come. I don't know if I'm ready for it. Don't know if my body is ready. But here we go. Game 2 is going to be on Oceanborn. Oof. Yeah, that was crazy. Here we go. Oh, they switched places. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner, there we go, just fixing things up. In the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan. Oh. Representing, as I quickly try to fix up our colors here, representing Team Hyper 1, it is HonMonO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Pink Zerg player representing Team Gosu. It is Koht. Ooh, going for a gas first. Let's go. Let us go. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out the color code here for purple. There, that's better. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out the color code. So we do have a gas first. It's going to be gas into pool. This is most likely for a roach rush, so a very aggressive build here from Koht, looking to try and end things a little bit earlier instead. This could just be for a Bane bus as well, but Bane busts are quite uncommon in this matchup. They're not very popular at all, not as much as they used to be. So I'm curious as to what kind of tech we're going to be throwing down here for Koht. Just catching up with the chat. Also, big shout out to Sephiron. Sephiron did give us a raid earlier. As we are going to be getting into this. There we go. Link speed is on the way. We haven't pulled out a gas. That is a big tell that Koht is intentionally going to be banking up his gas for a reason. And there it is. We were talking about it. The roach rush is upon us. Koht is still on 16 drones. He has not actually saturated his main, hasn't started droning up his natural, is looking to go all in. Not just with roaches, but with speedlings to reinforce. Now it's going to be on HonMonO to figure out what exactly is going on back at home. We do have a Rax expand into a factory. We saw HonMonO just be hyper greedy in that last game. So we'll see if Koht can punish him. We'll see if HonMonO is going to once again go into a third and then a fourth CC. Remember, to wide throw back, HonMonO, like on in the early game, he went up to like 6 CCs while he was taking a third. It was crazy. Like, just the amount of expansions that HonMonO had, it was wild. Regardless, here we go. There it is. We have the third TC in the main base, so it's going to be an economic opener out of our Terran player. Reaper dives into the main. Queen is in position. Reaper goes down. Link speed has been revealed, but we have not spotted that Roach Warren, as Koht has not made a single drone this entire game. 16 workers, that is all he has to work with. Like, he's droned up only 16. He hasn't droned up any further. And now we're sending it. Everything across the map. The Lings, the Roaches, the everything. And what do we have at home to defend? We have 2 Cyclones. We're about to have 2 Cyclones and a Marine. A second Marine is on the way. Lings are going to be able to take control of the natural base. 1 SCV goes down, and here come the Ravagers. The Ravagers, they're going to be knocking down the wall, and then the Lings, they get on top of the Cyclones. That will be the plan. It's going to be our approach here, and yeah, just there's nothing. If we had a couple of Hellions, that could maybe change things. With Cyclones are less than ideal. There we go. The depot will fall. Boys are being pulled, but the Lings, they get on top of them. Other Biles. Oh my god, it looks like with this boy pool we can maybe hold on, but 12 SCVs have gone down. We still need to get more damage done though. The Cyclones, they will clean this up. If it wasn't for this SCVs, the Cyclones would have fallen. We're down to 11 workers, but we have a 4th CC on the way. We have a natural, a 3rd, and a 4th. So greedy. This feels illegal. This feels disgusting. Oh my god. HonMonO getting away with so much, and now Koht is droning back at home. Ah. Now, the all-in did do a lot of economic damage. We killed 11 SCVs, right? Again, HonMonO, he's down to 16 workers. The downside is that in the aftermath of the all-in, HonMonO, he's on 4 CCs. He's on 4 bases, 4 orbitals. So he can recover quite quickly. He was able to keep his Cyclones alive, which means he can counterattack, and that's a lot of Cyclones. That's 4, soon to be 6 Cyclones out on the map. Koht is going to be in some trouble. He is going to be in some trouble here as the Cyclones are pushing on the right-hand side. Wings coming first around. They get at least the Marines. Marines will fall. We get the Queen as well, and can we hold on to this base? We have Ling reinforcements on the way. Koht, he needs to hold on to the 3rd base, but I don't know if he can. It doesn't look like it. This hatchery has been taking a lot of hits. It does finish, which means it's going to be a kill, not a cancel. The Lings are falling one after the other. The Cyclones are barely holding on. There's 2 of them left. They get the Queen. And it looks like Koht will barely clean this up. He holds onto his 3rd base. Lost the Queen, lost a lot of Lings, but does hold. That was 33 Lings. 2 Queens for 4 Cyclones. The value there was insane. And back at home, that is not, or that is a form of mech, that is not Mass Cyclone. This time, Starports. Starports with Tech Labs. This is either going to be Banshee play or BCs. Now, there is no Fusion Core, so Mass Banshee seems to be what is coming up next. We have a 5th CC and a 6th CC on the way. Oh, God. Aye. Just doubling down here on just mass bases. There it is. We're getting Hyperflight Rotors. We should be getting Cloak as well. Making 2 Banshees at a time. Meanwhile, I love this from Koht. We've taken a lot of damage. We're just going for another all-in. We're up to 35 workers, and we're not going to join up any more than this. Just making mass Ling Ravager. It's all or nothing for Koht. All or nothing. And here we go. We're going for the surround. Up. Good, the Lings, they do manage to get on top of the Cyclones. Cyclones will be falling. Banshees are now coming up, but before the Banshees can do anything, these SCVs will go down. We will be crippling the economy. We're heading towards the natural waste as well. We're trying to wall off. Good target firing here on the Ravagers. 1, 2, 3 Ravagers are going to be falling. The Lings, they need to bust in. We need to break through. We need to get into the economy, into the mineral line. Up. The wall is not a wall. The Sim City is not good enough. And we do get on top of these SCVs. So many workers are going to be going down. And there's nothing to deal with these Banshees, and we're going to enter a really weird game state where HonMonO is going to have a lot of orbitals still remaining, and Koht doesn't have the best economy, but he's still getting so much damage done. That's 35 SCVs going down. We didn't even have a lair just now on the way, so we have crippled the economy. It's not going to take long to rebuild just because of how many bases we have. that's the reality of the situation. And the Banshees is going for a counterattack. And how many queens do we have? We have 4. 4 queens available. Cloak is not done, by the way. But the queens, they're going to be going down. We can even get the base. No, the third falls. Koht knocked down to 2 bases. And HonMonO, he is muling so hard. So even though he lost so many SCVs, I would say he's still either even or ahead in the economy. I think I want to say ahead. Especially because Koht is long distance mining. So HonMonO has a better economy, doesn't have much of an army though. The Lings, they come back in, they're getting more SCVs. They're getting more workers. 5, 6 SCVs go down. We're making Vikings, right? Vikings are on the way. We're just going to be mass scanning here, and we do get eyes on the Spire. Spire has been spotted. Here we go. We just dive right past the army into the main base. They're going to be camping the tech here as well. Oh my god, the Spire, no, is exposed. It's going to be going down. Spire will be falling. And I mean, we're still getting into Vikings behind this. So it's mass Sky Terran essentially, mass Banshee and Viking from HonMonO. And potentially for the second time, I'm going to be going straight for this hatchery. Queens are here to transfuse. They can keep up. They do zone these Banshees away. Koht once again getting ready for a counterattack. Well, we have a planetary. We have a planetary back home. As we're even going to be muling here just to keep everything topped up, keep everything alive. Yeah, and these Banshees, sorry, these Queens, even they cannot keep up. GG's going to get called. The Vikings land, and HonMonO will take the series 2-0. We'll take down Koht, advance on to the upper bracket finals. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god, that was wild. That was very HonMonO. That was a very HonMonO series that we saw. Again, HonMonO, he's a very unique player, very at times in a way cheesy and aggressive, and does end up taking it 2-0, making it here to the upper bracket finals. And a big shout out to Koht as well. Koht almost took game 1. Game 2 was a little bit more brutal, just because Koht was so all in himself, so he never really had the best economy. Game 1 was more back and forth, and honestly, there were moments where Koht was winning and Koht was ahead. So game 1 was a lot more closer. Game 2, less so. Game 2 was a lot more one-sided towards the end there. But regardless, GG, well played. HonMonO will take it. And with that, we have our upper bracket finals. Now, when it comes to this event, and when it comes to players that can keep up with HonMonO, I would have said that we would have had two big names. That's going to be Demi and Go-Go Joey. I mentioned before, Demi did forfeit, unfortunately. Demi had internet issues, and he did forfeit in the end, which means HonMonO can breathe a sigh of relief.